Hello, and welcome to the Parkinson Foundation PD Health at Home Fitness Fridays. My name is Stacy Macaluso, and I'm really excited to be here with you today. We're going to be working on the Parkinson's Wellness Recovery. This is our second week in March to explore this great format of fitness. Now, this is really a therapeutic fitness format, so I really encourage you to use this to your advantage during the day and every day when you need to just stretch or increase your range of motion, improve your balance, or when you feel a little bit off. It's a great way just to ground you again. All right, so let's get talking about that a little bit. But if you want to download a free copy of the newly released Parkinson's exercise recommendations, you can do so at parkinson.org/exercise. That's parkinson.org/exercise. Ready? Now let's go. All right, so you can see I have over here some equipment. I always encourage you to have a chair. Every workout that I'm always going to do with you is for all levels. I have a fitness and wellness platform called Mission PD, and we like our classes to be able to be participated by all different levels together. And that means that we're going to make sure that every person in the room is challenged, every person in the room is safe and having fun. Those are the only requirements, is that you are safe and having fun. All right, so with that said, let's get a little bit further ahead. I have a few things with me today because last week when we met, we explored moving from the chair and moving from our feet, from a standing position. Today, we are going to explore from the chair and a lying position on our backs. Now, many of you may get scared or nervous about trying to get to the floor, feeling that you won't be able to get up. Feel free to go into your bedroom or, watch this recording at another time when you feel that you can do this in a safe space, or maybe even on the floor and somebody can help you get up. The items I have here with me, one are a mat, so that when I get to the floor, I'm not lying on the hard floor. I also have a small balance pad that I like to use for underneath of my head when I lie down, and a pillow in case I need that to get down on my knees. Now, for any reason getting down to the floor is dangerous for you or uncomfortable on your knees because of previous injuries or issues, please don't do that. And on our second round of exercises that we will do on the floor, you'll just repeat them from the chair, and they'll still be as equally effective. And then you can repeat them from your bed or a lying position when you feel that you're in a safer place to do so. All right, so let's get started. So of course, let's review what we did last week. And if you weren't here last week, don't worry about it. I'm going to go through it really quick and you will pick it up. Wonderful. And I thought that we would grab the weights and do that right away because we didn't even get to the weights last week. So, like I said, if you weren't here last week, don't worry about it. We're going to do a quick review on what Parkinson's Wellness Recovery, or Power Moves, is. So find your weights. If you have them, you can bring them close by. If you don't, you can grab two things and put them in your hands, or you can get a couple of water bottles, which always works really well. All right, so just to stretch, let's come to our seats and rock a little side to side, sitting back until you feel comforted by the seat, really like hugged by the seat, by the chair bottom, by the back, and you really feel the base of the chair kind of hugging your body in, okay? Take your hands out to your knees, arms nice and long, lengthen your chin and your neck and your throat, and let's just look over to the left and right, just loosening up that neck and head. So as we get started moving in bigger motions and bigger ranges of motion, we don't jerk our bodies where they're not warmed up and we're not prepared to move. And let's come back to the center. Now, lifting through the chest and the heart. Remember, I think if we were here last week, I'm going to have you rub here on your chest. If you weren't here, you're going to do the same thing. And you're going to realize that this is the part of the body that we want to lift up. We want to lift the heart and open the heart to everybody so that we can see our faces, long throats and necks, and our shoulders pull back underneath of our earlobes. All right, now with that, lifting up, feeling the back of your chair, really pulling your shoulders back, lower your chin to the chest, and then lift it up. Now they say that our heads are about between 10 and 12 pounds, right? Some of us have bigger heads, we know that when we put hats on, and that 10 to 12 pounds is held up by our neck. So if we have issues with our neck, where our neck is weak, that may be difficult at times. So let's lift that head up and bring the back of the head, as if you had a ponytail, right over the back of your spine. And I do talk about this sometimes. Imagine if you had a ponytail. I'm going to turn sideways, just stay there and watch with me. Right, so you see how I have this ponytail hanging out here, right? So if I'm up nice and tall, isn't my ponytail like kind of hanging? And it's a tail, right? So you can see it kind of hanging off the back of my head. Now if I do this, my ponytail lays on the back, oh yeah, there it is, lays on the back of my head. So what we want to kind of think of is the crown of the head is lifting to the ceiling, but where your ponytail would be, it's kind of hanging off the back of your head so that it doesn't lay on the head, right? And that's where you tuck your chin. You lose your volume of your voice and throat for swallowing because you've compressed your throat. So this is another reminder here with the heart open and the head up, how you're gonna have a nice posture line there. All right, so come to the middle of your chair if you're not there yet. Wiggle side to side to get to the middle, especially if your feet are a little bit heavier, stop. All right, and we're gonna go right into some arms out in front. Wiggle the fingers, flip the palms over a few times, and try to get the thumbs all the way to the outside. And let's wiggle the fingers with the palms up, and let's turn them down and up again. Excellent. Now let's just bring the elbows back. Feel a squeeze and push the heart forward, and then reach the arms out. Now remember this movement because this is very similar to the first power up movement that we're going to do for today. All right? And one more. And extend the arms out, turn the palms, and let's just swing the arms in and out just to loosen up the chest and the back, the biceps. Okay, a little smile, it always works. Excellent. Take the hands out, give you some open and close. Now, let's go slow. Squeeze tight, open big. Ready? Squeeze tight. Now I want you to open your hands as big as you can and then try to make them just a little bit bigger. And do it again. Squeeze, open, now make them bigger. Do it again. Squeeze, open, and go bigger. That's it, good. Let the arms fall. Right and left swings forward. Start low if you need to, and then move them higher. And if you have any issues with rotator cuffs and lifting your arms higher than your shoulder is difficult, keep them low. Good. And awesome. Let them come down. Shake them out. All right. Are we ready? All right. Grab your weights if you can. All right. If you don't have weights, don't worry about it. So our first exercise is called Power Up. Power Up is an anti-gravity move. The whole purpose is to get its shoulders back over the hips and to lift the chest up, heart open, neck lifted, ponytail hanging off the back of the head. So we create this nice line. One of the reminders I gave everybody last week, which I'll remind you again this week, is as you come up, you're thinking about rising up, like as if an elevator is going up, not back, okay? Now, because this is a squat and a lift movement, a lot of times people do throw their back backwards. So be very careful to focus on a vertical direction going up. Now let's take the hands right down to the thighs. Your power up move starts with a lean forward and a push back into the posture. Now, if you need to sit back so that the back of your chair stops you from pushing backwards, you can do so. The arms are going to come up next time to the east and the west, to the right and the left. So even though the arms go outward, the head and the spine feel like they're going upward. All right, this is just our warm-up. This is your first power up from a seated position. Good, one more, and extend. Excellent, let's drop those arms down. And just because we have the weights in our hands, let's do a few bicep curls. All right, bring those arms up and down. I'm gonna challenge you every time, just to do a little bit more. Just to do a little bit more, say that with me. Just do a little bit more. Let's say it again. Just do a little bit more. If you said that to yourself every time you were doing something challenging, let's say it again. Just do a little bit more. Even if it was 10 seconds more, it will make a difference. All right, awesome, good job. So your rock, let's go rocking side to side. Remember to push off of your feet on the seat. Your power rock is about a weight transfer from right to left. This helps us move forward with walking, with stepping, okay? Now we're gonna add a little bit of a bend into it, and then we're gonna go to the side. Bend and lift. So our push off from that forward is a little spring up. Ready? Do it again, spring up. Do it again, spring up. Now we're gonna lift up that left arm and we're gonna reach up to the corner, right? So we wanna think 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And one more. And come on up. Nice, that was the rock. Let's take the opening arms here, right? So we're gonna start here with our power twist. Our power twist is about rotation in the trunk, is about rolling, moving, twisting, and rotation. So we're gonna take that right arm, we're gonna go over to the left. Our legs are gonna be soft. We're gonna be sitting to the edge of the chair so that we can swivel with our feet. But one foot is always going to be grounded to the floor because that's your balance foot. So the side that you go towards, that foot stays as your grounded foot. Now turn with your face if you have no tendency to get dizzy or lightheaded at any time. You can turn and look every time that you rotate. And let's do one more. And open and bring it back down. And let's wiggle those feet in. Let's do that again. Wiggle the feet out. Right? Let's think about here. Do the knees want to fall forward? Are the baby toes lifted up? If they are, push the baby toes back. Think about helping those inner thighs strengthen. Strengthening the back of the hips, the piriformis. Ready? Let's draw it in. 2, 3, 4. Squeeze the knees and inner thighs and toes together. Feel the inner thighs connecting. And let's do it again. Heels, toes, heels, toes. Push the knees back a little bit. See if you can push the knees back without even using your hands. And let's stay here in this position for a second. Okay, so knees are out. You're still pushing the knees back. You're gonna lean forward just a little bit. And you're gonna pull right up to your chin. Elbows are gonna go high up to the ceiling as if like you're making a bow tie right under your throat. And you wanna pull your belly in because as you're leaning forward and pushing your knees back, you're feeling this as a lot of core work. You're feeling your legs connecting here as you push your knees back. And your inner thighs working. Ready? Let's do 5 more. Count it with me. 4, 3. Can you be really clear with your voice? 2. And last 1, and lower. Good, let's bring those feet back in. So your last one, your power step, okay, is a big step to the side, but one of the most important things is that we bring the feet back together. And bringing the feet back together, and the knees back together, and the inner thighs back together, that connects this this nice muscle contraction when we push those together. So let's do that so that you can feel that first before we even go out to the side. Ready? Squeeze the knees together, take the arms, push forward, squeeze the belly back, squeeze the inner thighs together, squeeze the ankles together, hold, and release. Pull the elbows in. Ready, let's do it again. Lift tall, squeeze the belly in, squeeze the knees, squeeze the toes, inner thighs, hold, and then release. Let's do one more, ready? Squeeze the knees, inner thighs, ankles, everything tight together. Extend the arms, tighten the triceps, pull the belly in, and release. So I hope that you could recognize how warm your body got and how heated up you can get just from engaging those muscles into a contraction. All right, so as we step out, the most important thing is to bring that leg all the way back. So if you go out, right, and the leg doesn't go all the way to the side, it just goes here, that's okay. If it goes here, that's okay. That's your first step towards getting it out further. If you come in and you can't get it all the way back in, lift your heel and try to inch it back in before you go to the other side, okay? It doesn't matter how many you do, but it's more important to do them completely and properly rather than to try to get as many reps in as you can. Over time, your reps will increase as your form is better, okay? So we're gonna come down here, we're gonna bend forward, we're gonna lift up, try to lift the foot, both arms go out to the side. Now we wanna push this arm back on the side so we feel a big stretch across our chest. We wanna lengthen both arms out. Reach out, lean back, lift up, and bring that foot back together, bend, come out and sprint to the other side. Come back in, bend, feet together, spring back to the other side. So as you lean forward, you feel the abdominal contraction, you come back up and you lift. Let's do it again, bend forward, lift, exhale, inhale, back, exhale, inhale, back, and exhale, one more, back, and exhale, and you can take those eyes with you, inhale, lift and extend the arms, and lower down. So that move, that power step is all about transitions. It's all about taking a step, getting out of the car or out of a chair, moving into another room, rotating into another position. Any kind of transition from movement to movement that you're gonna make, you're gonna find that that movement's gonna really help you. The bigger amplitude, the open arms, the big step out is what we're looking for to help you lift the leg. The legs and the glutes are the largest muscle in the body, so naturally they're gonna be heavy. Your femur bone, the one in the top of your thigh, is the heaviest bone in your body. So in order to lift these legs, there's a lot of strength that needs to happen. So we gotta keep on building the muscles, right? We gotta keep the hips strong. So those are your exercises. Your power up, your power rock, your power twist, and power step. Now those can be converted to standing, which we did last time, but they can also be converted to the floor when we're lying down on our backs. So we're going to go onto the floor, onto our backs. I would like you to carefully stand up from your seat, put your weights down, and as you carefully get up, make sure that you're not dizzy or lightheaded at all. If you are, please focus on something that's not moving and hold on to something and don't move until you feel comfortable. Once you do, you can make your way into your room, setting yourself up to come to the floor. If you're not going to come to the floor today, which is completely fine, we're not going to use, well, no, we will use our weights again, keep them. If you're not going to come to the floor today, I want you to sit all the way back in your chair so that you can feel your back against your chair, and I'll explain to you why. Okay. So this is going to be my pillow. This is going to be my mat, or the space that I'm going to occupy. And that's important to understand because when you lie out your mat, or when you lay down, there's a space that you occupy. And you want to try to understand that space because that's your safe zone. Right, once you go outside of that space or off of it, then you kind of rolled off your bed, so to speak. All right, so I'm gonna bring my weights close by. Now, if you're seated in your chair, and I'll show you this first, you're gonna sit all the way back to your seat, because this part of your seat is going to be like the floor. So everything that we do on the floor, you're gonna do the same thing in your chair, and you're gonna use this as the floor. All right, and I'll come up and demo again so that it makes more sense. Now, if you're coming to the floor and you're nervous about that at all, or you've never had anybody teach you how to do that, I'm gonna show you how. And of course, you know, wearing shoes is something that's helpful sometimes for some people. And some people, when they do this part of the workout, they like to take their shoes off. I'm gonna leave that up to you as long as you're remembering my 2 rules, which is being safe first and having fun. All right, so we're gonna come right in front of the chair. You're gonna lean forward so that your weight is in front of the chair on your arms. And if your arms are weak, you wanna bend your knees, keep the weight slightly back. If you can come down with one knee and then the other knee, you can slowly inch your way back. Now, we're gonna come down to all fours because we're coming onto our back. And when we come to all fours, we want to walk our knees over to the side and gently bring our hip down, okay? Sometimes I see people that have trouble with that. So if you have a physical therapist or occupational therapist, this is a wonderful thing to practice with them, getting up and down from the floor. Don't be afraid of it, more embrace it and try to master it and do it with somebody who can spot you. Okay, so we're gonna roll onto our backs, or you have come into your chair and you're sitting all the way back, okay? So we're gonna straighten our legs if you're on the floor. And the reason I do this exercise like this is because people have a tendency to lift their hips and their butt if they don't straighten their legs. If you're seated, of course, your knees are bent. You're gonna reach your arms directly out in front of you, and for people on the floor, you're gonna lift your arms up to the ceiling. Your fingertips are going to be stretching directly out from your shoulders. So it's going to be a straight line from your shoulders to your fingertips. What you're going to do is you're going to bring your elbows back behind you. You're going to either touch the back of your chair or the floor. You're going to push into the floor of the chair and arch your back. So the only thing touching is your head and your butt. And release and look up. Now, if you're on your chair, let's do that again. Bring your elbows down. I want you to lift your eyes and look up a little bit, and then release and stretch out again and return your chin parallel to the floor. Do it again. Inhale, push, exhale. Inhale, push, exhale, and reach. Now, whenever I'm on the floor with power moves, I add a few things in, because right now we're strengthening our upper back and our thoracic spine. We're increasing the strength of our shoulder blades, pushing into our biceps as we squeeze back and push our shoulders down and upper back off the floor. So the next exercise, we're going to match it with our hips, our lower body, and release. Bring our hands down. Now, everybody on the floor, you're gonna bring your hands down by your side. You're gonna place your palms down. And I want you to push your shoulders back, the back of your arms and your forearms. So you feel everything from your fingertips, your palm, everything touching the floor. Now, if you're seated, I want you to grab the bottom of your seat. Everybody's gonna bend their knees. Your people who are seated already have bent knees. Now you're gonna push with your hands and your feet. You're gonna lift your hips up. And if you're sitting, you're gonna push on the seat with your hands and lift your hips up off the seat. Like someone's trying to slide a pad underneath of you. And then come down. Let's do it again. Push down, lift up as if somebody's trying to slide a little pad underneath of you to make it a little more comfortable. And lower and release. Let's do it again. Push your feet, your arms, your shoulders, everything into the floor. Lift your hips up off that seat and slowly come down. Let's do one more. Press down, push your shoulders back, push into the seat, straighten your arms, and lift your hips up off the seat and the floor. And release it down. Now just let your knees move side to side, just relaxing and shaking it all out. So your first move was your power up, okay? Right? So we have this, we have our power up. Now why is this important? Well, a lot of us are leaning forward and rounding our back, so this is extending our shoulders, opening our chest, and helping us to combat that forward folding, okay? Now we're gonna do rocking. One leg goes straight. I'm gonna only do one side at a time because this really gets to be very confusing for some people, and I wanna try to simplify it for you. So the whole point of this is keeping your chest open. So let's take your left arm and put it on the floor. Right? Now push your shoulder down, switch feet actually, bend your left knee. Put your left arm flat on the floor. Reach your right arm up as you push yourself over to the right, but don't let your left hand come off the floor. Your left hand down. And come back and switch. Oh, I never switched out my pillow. But that's okay, this is okay for my head. If you do a balance pad, it's a wonderful pillow for a lot of people with the arch in their neck. All right, let's try the other side. Bend the right, push your right hand down, reach up with your left side, and really push off your right heel to lift your right hip to turn over. And come back, and let's switch. Bend your left knee, dig your heel into the floor, push your left arm on the floor, reach up with your right. And come back, and let's switch. Now I'm doing these movements slowly with you, because I want you to learn them. And I don't want you to rush them. I want you to reach, and I want you to lift. Keep reaching, don't stop. And then come back. And let's do it again. Bend the other knee, push off, reach up, make sure the right hand is touching. Keep reaching with the left hand. And come back and down. Let's do it again, one more time. Reach up with the right hand, touch the floor with the left, lift the left hip, and come back down and lower. Awesome work. So you can go faster if you want, which would look like this. But if you shorten your range of motion by going faster, then you're not doing yourself any favors. So slow down and create more extension, more length and bigger movements. Slower. As you get stronger, you'll increase your speed. All right, power twist. We're going to do the same thing with our feet that we just did before because that helps us with a rollover. As you can see, if you try to roll over with just your body or your arms, your legs are dead weight, heaviest part of your body, okay? So by bending the knee and pushing, we can twist. We're going to feel that connection. We're going to come back open and switch. Ready? Push off and open and switch. Bend the left knee, push on the left heel, turn to the right, switch. Do it again. Bend the right knee, turn over to that left side, and again, full range of motion movements. Now, if you're seated in your chair, you're doing that same thing that we did the first time. You're turning and twisting. The second time that you did that power reach, you were doing the same thing we were doing, that rock and lift. One more time, everyone, ready? And back and centered. All right, now, repeating the same thing in your chair, your power step to the side. Very similar here, but we bend both knees. Now again, if you find yourself having a tendency to lift your hips, I want you to keep one leg straight. Why don't we all keep one leg straight just so we can stay together. So right leg straight, right arm down, left leg bent, left arm by your side. You're gonna take both the arm and leg out together, and then you're gonna come back, you're gonna switch feet. Arm and leg, together, switch. Arm and leg, back together, switch. Arm and leg, back together, switch. Arm and leg, back together, switch. One more time. Arm and leg, back together, and switch. So there was your power step, lying down. Same thing with the transition. Who has trouble getting up out of bed or rolling over? I'll give you one little tip that probably many of you don't realize. If you're going to roll to your right arm cannot be down. Or when you try to roll, it's stuck here. If you don't have a rotator cuff or issue with your shoulder, and you can lift the arm out of the way and bend the other side, push off, this arm now is out of the way for you to roll, right? And then you just kind of bring it back. The same thing has to happen if you're gonna roll back over the other way, because you're gonna get that arm out of the way, you're gonna push, and then use your feet to get back over. So that's a skill that you can work on with your occupational or physical therapist as well. But again, just remembering to get things out of your way when you're trying to move. Most often, you just have something stuck in the way and you're not maneuvering the way that you can. You may not have had instruction or been taught, which is fine, or you could just be forgetting, and that's okay too. So practice and practice and practice. These skills will really help you. So let's just really review quickly. Ready? You've got power up. You can do it with your legs down. Power up. You have power rock, which is your reach up, one arm on the floor, and if you're seated, you're doing the same thing. You're just reaching behind, corner to corner, looking behind you, reaching to turn off the light in the corner of the room, okay? Your power twist, feet do the same thing. You always bend the opposite knee of the direction you're going in. So if you're going to the left, you bend the right knee. If you're going to the right, you bend the left knee. And then you have your transitions. Power step. Feet and knees together. Open, back together. Open, back together. Open, bring it back together. One more. Open, bring it back together. And amazing. So our moves are really about posture, range of motion, big, tall, long, stretched movements, rhythmic movements, coordination, and just knowledge of knowing how to maneuver. So be confident in learning these and practicing them, taking your time. You'll always be able to access the videos. So let's come up from the floor. I'm sure that you were wondering if I was going to do that. Absolutely. So what we're going to do is we're going to reach up with that arm, or we're going to get it out of the way, even if you take it to the side. You're going to push off and maybe come onto your belly. Push on your toes, arms, lift your hips. Come to all fours. Slowly walk up to the chair where your pillow is. Bring one foot, lean forward, and then let's come on up to standing. And here we are. Wonderful work today, everybody. So I hope that you're feeling good, feeling great and confident about what you've learned today. I'm so proud to be here with you and the Parkinson Foundation Health at Home. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at Mission PD. I'm happy to answer any questions about the fitness format that we worked on today. So thank you for joining us at the Parkinson's Foundation PD Health at Home Fitness Fridays. Our video series is every Friday this month, and at the end of the month, I'll be seeing you live, and I'm really looking forward to that. For more information about the Parkinson's exercise recommendations as a prescription for people with Parkinson's, please visit www.parkinson.org/exercise. And until next time, keep moving and really practice these movements will really help you with your range of motion and your quality of movement. Until then, have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you again.